6 o'clock, we'll call this meeting to order. Everyone, please join me in the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll go to roll call. Here.
Councilman Mike Cooley,
Here.
Councilman Corey Oxford,
Here.
Doug Barkhurst,
Here.
Councilman Jerry Flutie.
Present.
Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? Any corrections or additions to the agenda? Chair would take a motion to approve the agenda as read.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as read.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. Has everybody had the chance to look at minutes from February 4th meeting? If there's no corrections or addition to those, I would take a motion to go ahead and approve those minutes from the last meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll move on to approval of the bills. We had deposits in the amount of $409,190.57. Accounts payable in the amount of $49,677.98. Transmittals in the amount of $12,244.62. And payroll in the amount of $45,008.94. Questions? Do I have a motion to approve the financials as read? Pay the bills?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to correspondence.
Letter from Carbon County Library Systems. Dear Honorable Council members of Saratoga, on behalf of the Carbon County Library System Board of Directors, I would like to thank you for your partnership and your contributions to our operating expenses in Saratoga. This letter is a result of the budget cuts proposed during the Carbon County Council of Governments meeting in January. As you know, the county will be reducing the CCLS operating budget in a significant manner over the next 2 fiscal years, which will have an impact on all of our libraries. We are proactively looking for ways to continue our current operation of all 7 library locations in our county. Thus my letter today. Currently, Saratoga is generously contributing to the Carbon County Library System by paying water and sewer, weed and pest, and lawn care and snow removal. The Saratoga Friends of the Library Group also contributes generously every year. Due to the drastic proposed budget cuts, we ask you to consider further contributions to the system. This could include allocating funds quarterly to the CCLS, assuming building ownership of the county, gas and electricity, phone and internet, furniture and supply funding, reduction in lawn size to reduce water bill, or other solutions that perhaps unique to your community. We'll make the decision in the very near future, so I thank you in advance for your considerations. Please let us know in February if you would like to meet so we may continue this discussion. If you are not interested, please let us know that as well. We would be happy to attend your next council meeting to discuss this further. As we all know, the Saratoga Library is an important part of our community. We are diligently working to find solutions that will help our current communities retain these precious resources. Sincerely, the Executive Director.
Questions? I talked to a couple of people about this. They do have a budget. They get money from the state. We do provide services in kind. We do snow removal. We do mowing. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Emery, but we do provide water for their irrigation. It's something to think about. If you guys want me to pursue it, I was gonna get a hold of Marie. Oh, I can't remember her last name. She's the Pardon?
Maria Wetzel,
Oh, okay.
she's the library director.
And talk to her and see kind of what they were asking. Do you know?
Yeah, actually, that's why I'm here today. I'm a member of the board and
Could you step up here and explain kind of what you guys were looking at?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I don't really have much to say other than what's in the letter that Maria sent. I'm just here to offer, to try to answer questions or take the questions back to the board. We meet tomorrow. And so, we're just really looking for creative ideas. We're looking at ways that we're gonna cut our budget, things that we're gonna let go of that are just not gonna be possible in the next couple of years. Because I think everybody, I mean, not just the county, but the municipalities are facing this too. So we're just circling the wagons financially speaking, and just wondering if you have any ideas.
What are they expecting for percentage they're cutting?
We don't have any expectation, really. I mean, every library in the county is different. Every municipality is different. Saratoga is one of the most used libraries, after Rollins, of course. And, some of the buildings are owned by the county and some of the buildings are owned by the municipalities. So that might be something that you could consider is taking ownership of the building. It's not ideal because then, the library is really dependent on the municipality for space. But at this time, we really can't take anything off the table. So it's just something to ask the council to start thinking about. If there's any way that we can work together, reducing our water footprint and things of that nature are pretty obvious to us, but, and I think those are savings that would, maybe the town could pass on to the library in a little bit, with a contribution of some sort, but it's really an open universe. So, you have any?
Is there any way that the board could provide us with what those bills kind of currently are?
The bills
We could
that,
see those?
yeah, and a lot of those bills also go to the county. So there's that. And so, by reducing the county's commitment, we, help the library out a little bit too. But I would absolutely be able to, get the request number be provided.
Yeah, because you mentioned in your letter, helping with maybe a water bill or electric bill. We don't know what that is a year. If we had an idea what it is a year, it's possible that we may have some.
They don't pay a water bill right now. The town just takes.
Yeah, the town takes care of the water, but the electrical and your gas, I assume it's heated by gas.
I don't know,
Yeah, I
honestly.
don't know either, but something along that line, but we have no idea the amount.
Of course,
And we're going into budget here before long, so for
right.
us to help out,
Are there any?
most definitely our budget would come first.
Sure, of course. And, so yeah, I can get, those numbers before the next council meeting and, try to help you guys out. But if there's anything specific that you can think of, we could start looking into that. I don't know, what,
Well, and I don't know how we could even say until we know what our budgets are gonna be.
Yeah,
there's also that. So we're all kind of probably on the same budget cycle. It's usually July to,
Yeah, we have to have ours in by July 1st, and we'll probably know sometime late May.
Yeah.
Kind of where we're gonna land, hopefully.
we have a little bit earlier of a schedule. I believe we have to have our budgets in by end of March. I'm not positive about that. The director would be able to address that, but we will definitely get those numbers to you
Well,
and find out.
That's what I was gonna reach out to Marie about is asking her kind of what they were looking at, what type of money are you talking? And I didn't get it done this week.
And I'm sorry, I don't have all of that information before you. I just wanted to be a presence and, know that we're not just sending out a letter asking for money.
Thank you.
You bet.
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. We'll just table that for right now. Go ahead.
The next one is from Carbon County Planning and Development. We'll send a notice of adjacent property owners. The purpose of this notice is to know that there has been a land use proposal submitted to the Carbon County. The request is to replace the existing 37-foot tower with a permanent 120-foot tower with foundation, with the overall tower height being 126 feet, including the related facilities. The approximate location is 1.25 miles north of Saratoga on Highway 130. Approximately 1,250 feet west on a private road.
Have they reached out to the airport?
Yeah, they discussed it at the airport.
Do they have any issues with it? I don't have any issues with it. They're gonna build it. Doesn't ask for us to take any action. It's just letting us know what they're doing, so. All right, thank you. Is that all the correspondence in? Okay, we'll move on to items from the public. Any items from the public? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to any council comments tonight. Okay, we'll move on to reports from town hall. And it looks like the first one is Kurt and Cherie Grappus, I believe is how you say that name. And if you look on page 44 of your packet, you will see a map. And it shows a pink triangle at the bottom. The yellow triangle reflects what was sold to the Chatfields last year. And when it come up last year, I don't think anybody knew the town actually owned that property, none whatsoever. It was agreed upon, the attorneys worked together and it was agreed upon, the town sold the Chatfields that property for $500. Quick claim deed was issued and filed with the clerk. Stropus is asking the same thing. You can see the pink diagram, or the pink triangle goes down through their property. Theirs is actually quite a bit smaller, 0.04 of an acre. Any questions or discussion on this? Emery, do you have anything to add since it's land?
No, I think it's not really valuable to us, and now since we sold the other piece, there's really no access to it anymore anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder about the strip in between the property lines and the stuff we sold. It looks like there's 10 or 20 foot gap in between them. It was surveyed though, huh?
Yeah. Maybe we're looking at that.
42, or is it 44? 44. The backside.
Yellow chunk's the one, this one that runs through there.
Yeah, see the Chatfield's property that we sold, the yellow strip, there's a big gap.
You know, in that map we approved with Chatfields, it didn't have that, did it?
No,
Some of these GIS lines on the county website are off pretty significantly, like our roads out here on some of them, they're like 30 feet off.
yeah,
Don't see that on the survey map that we did when we sold last month.
yeah, them two lots right there that we're talking about don't look like they run out into the lake like the rest of the lots. For some reason.
I'm sure they do, don't they? I know they do.
The other ones I know do, but I don't know.
Well, if you go through the description. Property. Yes, it shows it going all the way out to.
Right.
This would be the triangle in question.
And where are you finding that?
They've got all the legals in here. It's upside down today.
No, it's not. That's the piece that you would, let Chatfields have, this is the piece.
Yeah,
My question is when
I would say these people do. That own
why
this
is that
house.
not in your map then?
That I don't know. Couldn't tell you, but I would,
That was,
well, they have no access to that. Nobody has access to that property.
So
well, it looks like,
who owns this piece of property? That's what we're asking.
looks like a strip right down through Chatfields is not
But
covered by any property.
But if that is off,
And a whole lot down below that, or above that triangle isn't.
but then why would we, here's my question, why would we have sold Chatfield this property if that is a property line that goes right again their house?
I don't know.
That's what I say.
That might be something.
I'm saying this line is off.
That might be something we overlooked. I don't know.
Well, in your map here, that does butt right up to there. This empty spot.
Well, it looks like for the town to get any use out of that at all, you'd have to access it through their property or by water. So,
Or the property that Bob has a question about.
No.
Well, no.
it's
Bob,
pretty much worthless to the
this
town.
is the property. So Chat. It doesn't. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm with that.
Questions.
And I would say
Who
stroke
owns this piece?
these people. Would
Why
be my
doesn't
guess.
that property line go all the way?
Yeah,
It's the way the map was printed out, I don't know.
Because even when you pull it up on Onyx, it looks the same.
Onyx just copies the county GIS. Pretty much since it came out.
and I think I would look into that. Otherwise, we're giving them access to
All right.
that whole
Well, we
bottom.
can table this until the next meeting and I'll look at that. If that's
If
a
it's-
question.
If that's their lot down to there and they just want that little corner, I don't have a problem with it. But if you're tying up that whole bottom lot and you're giving away portion of somebody else's lot,
Well,
this lot here isn't.
to
isn't
me, that would be somebody else's lot if it's Robinson's property don't drop all the way down.
Right.
If it doesn't have a boundary, so we might be,
It says if you're looking at the county assessor map, the lake property, it's not accurate. But that's the map you're looking at.
but that's something we better look at a correct map before we.
What's
So
this
there's a
map?
disclaimer on the county assessor.
This was a survey map that you stamped it.
It's not even on the assessor's map.
This isn't the assessor's map. This is the guy who did the survey.
Your associates.
Oh, Engineer and Associates out of Laramie. They sent their surveyors over.
You're still talking about? Yeah. That end. It doesn't show that gap. This is just the Saratoga boundary line, so it looks like they drew it on the line instead of on the lot line.
And what we're questioning is this here.
That whole property down there isn't owned by the top owners.
This junk right here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
In their accessory or in the.
we're selling them a piece down here and this here isn't owned by anybody
Well,
or the
and the
town.
next house too would have the same, well, shows on,
Leo's is owned clear into the lake.
yeah.
Yeah, Leo's over in here.
Line here and then.
I just
Yeah,
think
that's
we
what
should
we
take
get.
a little closer
Well,
look before.
This one here would be in
I see
question
what
too,
you're
but
saying.
it said on
Yeah. I don't have an issue with it if that's their property down there, but if it isn't their property,
And if you compare this,
yeah, why would we sell them a little triangle there?
so here's your triangle here that we took
Right.
care of already.
Right.
Here's Chatfield's. So that would be this one.
That, their property line would come on.
Yeah. So that's Chatfield's. And right there. That line right there. There's Strobus. It's right there. Who owns this piece here?
Yeah, I have to ask Lyle and see. I bet he didn't survey these. This is section line.
Because even when you pull that up on Onyx, see how these other properties run out into the lake? It pulls that up.
They all show up.
Yeah, these lines right here. Yeah, because that's where they got all the GIS.
right.
That's not labeled to anybody.
This is what we'll do. I'll just table this till the next meeting until I can talk to the surveyors. And get them to,
Cause if that lower half isn't theirs,
Well, we're selling somebody else's property.
Yeah.
If that's not-
Whether it be county or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
All right, we'll table that. We'll move on. Next item of business. It'll be police department. So nothing else under town hall?
That's it.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, council. Past 2 week, police department, we had 143 log calls. We had a couple burglar alarms, had a couple busy weeks. We had 12 animal calls. 8 citizen assists, 5 assist other agencies, had a hot pool violation, a couple car crashes, 2 K9 deployments, and a couple of camping violations in town. Past 2 weeks. My order of business that I have on the agenda is for new badges for the police department. Been several years since we've ordered any more, and we've kind of got a hodgepodge of what's left. Almost everyone's running around with a badge that says sergeant now. And all different ones that are badge number 2. I had a sergeant badge number, and badge number 2, everything except for lieutenant. Part-timers are using just kind of whatever we had left over. So this quote is just for 5 badges for now for the full-time officers. And then as well as 5 badge holders. And they would come to $1,171.25 to get 5 badges. Then later on, we can add for the part-timers and hopefully get a second badge for each officer. The reason there's badge holders, because this is a new shape and style of badge. Instead of just the star that we've been using, this is a star on a shield. So it's our same star, but put onto a shield for more like a police department.
So these are all the same.
Other than they're individualized, has each officer's name on them.
Name and rank.
Yeah, instead of badge number, because the numbers have been changing a lot lately, so.
So everybody in favor of this at the PD?
Yeah, I gave a couple options. This is the badge that got the most votes from everybody.
Okay.
You have the money in your budget for these?
I do. At this one, I'll just take it out of the uniform budget for the year.
Any more questions? Nope. I have a motion to go ahead and purchase these badges for the 5 full-time officers
I'll make the motion to purchase these badges.
in the amount of $1,175.25. Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next item, first.
Okay, next we got Chief Morris actually returned to work last Monday, full duty. I did receive a letter from him today. He's actually requesting to resign as chief and be hired on as lieutenant. So I have that letter and I'll read it to you. That says, "Dear Honorable Mayor Chuck Davis, as you know, I've experienced a couple of life-changing events in my personal life. These events have allowed me to think about my priorities and come to a very difficult decision. Effective immediately, please accept this letter as official notice of my desire to step down as chief of police of the town of Saratoga and accept the change of position within the department to rank as of that of lieutenant. I have talked with my family and friends, and although I am thankfully healthy, and I seem to have suffered no long-lasting physical effects that prevent me from doing my job, I think it is in the best interest of myself and my family. Although it is very bittersweet to make this change, I look forward to continuing to serve the people of Saratoga, albeit in somewhat different role. Saratoga is fortunate to have a tremendous team of dedicated people working day in and day out to provide necessary services. I am proud to be among them. It has been an honor to serve this community. Thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to the opportunities ahead. Sincerely, Mike Morris."
Questions?
Nope.
I would like to then somebody to make a motion for Mike to make a lateral move from chief to lieutenant and come in at a pay scale, step 3. Step 2, excuse me, at $32.62 an hour.
Oh, that's where he was. 3062 is the.
Oh, I mean, 30, yeah.
Yeah.
At $30.62 an hour. And that would be a step of. Step's not even on there. Oh. Okay, step 7, excuse me, okay.
What are you making the motion for exactly?
To move Mike to do a lateral move with Chief Morris down to
Come down.
lieutenant at a step 7 of $30.62 an hour.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, under that same move, what I would like to do is appoint John Moore as interim chief for right now at a step 10, which would be $36.59 an hour until we have more time to discuss this amongst ourselves. Between us and at least we'll have a chief in position.
Didn't we already make him the interim chief?
No, he was acting chief. This will be interim where he will actually be the chief. That's my appointment. I just need.
I'll make a
approval of the
motion to
council.
make him chief.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, we have a motion and a second to make John Moore interim chief at a step 10 under the pay scale of $36.59 per hour. If there's no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
All right, that's everything. I have.
congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Any questions? All right.
Okay. Next order of business will be the fire department, and I have nothing to report from them. So we'll move on to the recreation department.
Hi, Carter.
Good evening. The first order of business I have is this quote for some new epoxy pool paint. Yeah, 4,700 square feet is what it'll get us. Our pool's approximately 4,400 square feet. And I couldn't tell you the last time it was done. It was painted. I know that I talked to Eugene about it and he said it was before he got here. So it's been probably 3 or 4 years or more.
It's an epoxy paint, isn't it?
Yeah.
Other stuff like it's getting hard to paint, it's coming off with the time to clean. It's a lot of. Not compliments, the opposite of that on how dirty the pool looked, but there wasn't a lot we could do with it because he's trying to scrub it in.
So we have to strip the old stuff before.
No,
we
I
put
think you
this
can
down?
pressure wash it to where everything that's gonna come off will come off, and then this stuff's thick and should adhere, it should cap it, and we shouldn't have any problems with it. We'll pressure wash it, acid wash it. Beat it still.
Do I have a specific place it's gonna come from in my budget? No. Due to all the recent things that we've been doing over there, but I think at the end of the year, we'll be covered by it. We'll be good.
You think? Okay,
Think so.
any other questions? It needs paint.
Yeah.
Okay. And we need to have it here and be ready for when we.
Yeah, I mean, the sooner I can order it, the better, because we're looking to start doing this stuff second week in April.
To have a motion to go ahead and accept this quote for pool paint in the amount of $3,549.75.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and pay the $3,549.75 for the paint.
Have a second to that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
The next thing I have is we're looking to add Saturdays back in regards to open gym hours. It was like that in the past. And then it stopped for a while. So I had one of my employees or a couple of my employees say, hey, we would like to open up on Saturdays. So I said, okay,
Do you have coverage?
yes,
That's the big thing.
yes.
Okay.
And it'll be 4 to 7 on Saturdays rather than 69 every other day of the week. Or I guess not Sundays, 5 days a week.
Suppose we have to put it in the form of a motion. To have a motion to go ahead and add Saturday schedule back to the regular.
I'll make a motion to add Saturdays to the schedule.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Everything else going good for you?
Great. I do want to extend appreciation to Emery. I mean, the street guys been a huge help at the pool, even at the rec center. So, been great.
And we want to express our appreciation towards you, Carter. You're doing a good job,
Thank you.
real good job.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Emery, Department of Public Works.
Hey, everybody. We'll just start off there at number 14. So we completed like what we call like 95% of the River Street Waterline project over there. And with that, we issued a partial substantial completion because they still got to do the chip seal. We advertised as required by state statute for 41 days to make sure nobody came in with a claim. We have no claims on that nobody was paid. They signed the affidavit that said they paid everybody for that portion of the work that's been done. And so they're requesting that we release the retainage for the work that's been done. So we still have a balance left for the chip seal and the rest of the project. So we had them do it in the form of a payout just because we kind of have some of the project left. So we don't want to fill out that says, oh, you can have all your retainage, because they can't have all of it, but they can have for the work that they're done. We just, if we get that approved and get them paid, because we still do have that money. They chose not to do a retainage account. We still do need to actually pay them that sum.
But this doesn't include work that they haven't done yet.
No, this is all
Just for what
percentage
they-
based off of the amount of the project that they've done.
Yeah, okay.
I think it says like 170,000 left for them to finish, which was like 130 for the chip seal and then some for,
Plus, we'll have to advertise again, correct?
correct, yeah, when they get done with the chip seal for their 40, we'll have to do the 41-day ad again.
Any other questions? I have a motion to go ahead and pay this app to Rocky Mountain Sand and Gravel in the amount of $96,348.55.
I'd make the motion to go ahead and pay this.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Mr. Emery.
All right, last meeting, we talked about options with the backhoe. We elected to fix it. I let Cat know that's what we wanted to do. They had one big job to get finished up before they started on ours. In the interim, the salesman, he got a hold of me and he said, hey, just wanted to let you know, there's a government and municipal promo that Cat just let me know about for the 440s. And the price dropped about $37,000. So I wanted to have a conversation before I just told them no, I guess. It is a significantly less amount of money. It'd actually be about 17 because it doesn't come with a thumb. We'd have to pay for that. So it puts us at about, with the trade-in, would be right around 118,000. So like we talked before, top end for fixing ours, we're around 48. That's an additional 67 out of pocket that we could use towards another machine. Or we can get this one and get the warranty. It's sixes, we could fix ours. It could go great and last, another 10 years. We could get this one. We could have the warranty. We could have issues with it. It could be a lemon, and then we're up subject to rentals coverage and stuff like that if we got to get worked on. I mean, I'd be interested if you guys have any wise words of wisdom.
And it's a 7-year warranty on a new one? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Does the new one got DEF?
yeah. Yeah,
The
everything.
old one have DEF?
Huh?
The old one doesn't, does it?
No, it's a,
Fix the old one.
was that Bub? Is that a
I
motion?
think we should fix the old one.
That's kind of the way I lean. I just didn't wanna not have a conversation
Well, the
about it.
thing on that too, is like, here we talk about getting a second digging machine. We still need 60,000 to go for second digging machine.
Yeah,
That may be still the route to take.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the right size, the operators on it passed down the word, it seemed a little weak. Didn't quite have the digging power.
it won't reach in a lot of places.
What's that?
It won't reach in a lot of places.
Yeah, but this new one that we've got leased or rented, said it doesn't seem to have the power that our old cat did.
Yeah, with the DEF.
That system.
So anyway, that's I'm up for what the council wants. I would just soon fix the old one. Try to find it another good used one for a second digging machine.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Go for it from there.
Yeah.
okay, that's great. And that's, I just wanted to, you know, 37 grand is a chunk of change, but I mean, it's not always the end all be all.
Yeah.
The rest of you guys feel the same way?
Yeah.
Just fix it.
I don't think we need to put that in a form of.
No, I don't think so. I just, okay, great. That clears that up. 16, so we have been looking pretty rigorously to find a used 1 ton with the ladder rack and a service body. We can put a generator on where the service body is not rusted out and the truck doesn't have a ton of miles on it, and it's been one or the other. So we finally just put something out. We could see, we get something new, and then we'll just pick the service body we need for what we do and put on it. Brandon and Chuck, we all looked, and it's either the body was rusted out and the truck had, a ton of miles on it, or it was a diesel and it was 100 grand. So I think if we go with the Ford and then we can get a service body, we can put a generator on and still have the ladder rack. But we just couldn't find one with it. Kept running into a lot of the service bodies had to flip up lids that couldn't mount anything to them, and the generator on that and the ladder rack for hauling pipe and stuff is pretty handy.
This a gas pickup?
Yeah. Yeah, the diesel, when you throw the diesel in it, it was like boom, 25 grand. It was
Well,
crazy.
They don't like
And
to
they
just sit
really-
around and idle.
What they did too, what Emery did is this has got basically the old extended cab instead
Yeah,
of
so-
4-door, so they've got room.
That was kind of one, we were looking for that because it'd be a little easier to get in the water shop, but being a little bit shorter, but we still need the 8-foot bed.
We did budget for this, correct?
Yeah, we have plenty to get this plot and then get the service body as well.
Questions? What's the council so chose to do?
If Emery needs it, there must be a need for it, so I would be for it.
Any questions?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Bob,
No, I'm fine with it. I was just
Sure.
reading through the description on it.
Chair would entertain a motion to go ahead and purchase this vehicle for $61,326.26.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and purchase this.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
A couple things on the public works side. We did kind of been bouncing around the idea on the street side of renting a laydown machine this year, this summer for about a month, so we can try and get some more paving done faster, cheaper than what we can hire it out for contractors for. And we did. Eugene and I have been looking very hard. They are a little difficult to run down, but we did find Ferris Machinery has one. So we'll get some prices. I got some prices, but we'll get a little more definitive cost. And next meeting, I'll probably we want to get that secured for a month, probably like mid-July to mid-August or something. So they can put us on the schedule because they'll all be rented out here probably by the first of April or something. So it's about, depending on when you get, anywhere from 8.5 to 11 for the month. And I think we can buy that back pretty fast doing that. And it's something we need to, I think, put in our repertoire and start working towards being able to do. It's just, nobody wants to come here and do small jobs anyway. Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for us to try to improve what we do and get a lot of money savings out of it.
And we'll figure out whether it's gonna be a deal to do or not.
Right, and that's what I mean, we've got to try.
Yeah.
If it's bottom.
Could be.
And
Could be not.
it might be, I don't expect it to be a smooth month. But for what I think we've got to try and see how it goes.
I agree.
And if it's good, it's good. If not, we'll try harder. So we got approved for the sewer crossings. We'll be getting all that paperwork in. It's at the JG's office, so we'll have official docs for all that funding and everything here shortly. So we'll get that over. Get that signed up. Mowing contract will be here at the next meeting. We'll have those on the table for you, get somebody on board for that. And then we're gonna start on that lift station here of the airport here, and probably the next week, we'll start digging that in up there, start getting the pipe put in. And then by the time we get all that done, we should kind of see that lift station rolling in. And I'd like to get that knocked out earlier rather than later. The bathroom design, had some renderings and some floor plans today. They about got that whipped out. They get the rest of the park bid put together and get that advertised and get some more done on that this summer. Those are kind of the main things. Anybody have any questions?
The mowing contract, do you have applicants?
Yeah, so we had a mandatory pre-bid meeting last week, and we did have 3 people show up.
Good.
So hopefully we'll see all 3 of them.
They're happy with the 3-year deal that we?
Yeah, I think everybody
Okay,
is.
good.
Yeah.
That's
And then we went over the contract pretty thoroughly, so they all knew what they were bidding on and
Yeah.
making sure there was no questions
Okay.
and.
Good.
Yeah, I think it's a good deal for everybody.
Yeah,
for them
I
and
do
for
too.
us. So. Any more plant or public works questions?
Planning Commission.
Hey, so this ordinance 879, so we did talk at the planning commission about the term limits, and we did kind of have a discussion about when this gets passed, where everybody will be. So everybody kind of fits in a spot pretty good, and we'll have the seats, so we'll know which seat is vacant, and we'll know what term it is and when it ends. And I think we'll be able to keep track of everybody a little bit better. We'll have staggering terms, so we won't have, a whole bunch of people leaving at the same time. They were all good with it. There was a little bit of discussion about should we have a 4-year, but ultimately they thought this would be good for, especially where we have people in their terms right now. I think nobody had to make a real big change to make this work with who we have on board, which was really nice. So didn't have to pull teeth to get anybody to do that. So at the end, if we get to the 3rd reading on that, it kind of rolls into these next ones. So if you guys don't have any more questions on that one, we could do the 2nd reading and.
I don't have any. Let's do the 2nd reading on that ordinance.
Town of Saratoga ordinance number 879, an ordinance amending Title II, Chapter 2.16, Section 2.16010 of the Town of Saratoga Municipal Code concerning the Planning Commission term lengths and term limits, and to provide an effective date.
Any additional questions? Do I have a motion to go ahead and approve ordinance number 879 on the 2nd reading?
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 879 on term limits.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I can go ahead and make appointments tonight. So people will know, they won't know exactly where their position is. Does the planning commission want me to do that, Emery? They'd like me to move forward with the point?
Yeah, I think we can get people appointed, so, everybody's not in limbo. And when we do the third reading, we'll know what 7 members we have and what seats they go in.
Okay. Well, we have a letter of interest from Matt Baker. Matt, you're here. Would you like to share some stuff with us?
Wish to continue working with Emery Painter. We're getting a lot of traction in 2024. We got section 17. Appreciate you doing the term limits too, that 5 years. I commit, that's too long for me. You guys are already on 4 years. A long time. 2 and 3 years, we worked it out with the commission. Everybody's happy. Like I said, I don't want to commit to 5 years and have to bail. I think a lot of people have been bailing. I can give you 2 years. I think we want to keep moving forward and doing what we're doing.
Okay. Hannah's not here. Would you read her letter?
Dear Saratoga Town Council, I would like to submit to you my letter of interest to the Saratoga Planning Commission. I have heard that there is an opening and would like the opportunity to serve on this board. I've lived in Wyoming for most of my life. I am currently employed with Toga Radio as the office manager. I am a retired law enforcement dispatcher. Currently, I part-time dispatch with the Saratoga Police Department. I'm interested in making Saratoga a beautiful place to live without changing the current small town atmosphere. I appreciate your consideration. Warm regards, Davey.
Yeah. Then we also have a letter from Heidi Larson.
Do you want to read your letter, Heidi?
Read your letter, please.
Good evening.
Okay, so I sent this in a while back, but I'll go ahead and read what I wrote to you guys. So I'm writing to express my interest in filling the vacant seat on the Planning and Zoning Board. As a lifelong resident of Wyoming, I have decades of experience in historic preservation and downtown revitalization. 20 years ago in Rollins, I got involved in the downtown revitalization efforts by saving 2 historic buildings from demolition and purchasing 3 others that were in dilapidated condition. At that time, the Rollins downtown was vacant, as many of the historic buildings were uninhabitable. I also joined the DDA, Downtown Development Authority, and helped to bring a large public art project to the downtown. We formed the mural committee and had 10 murals painted by local artists and installed at various locations in the downtown, depicting the rich history of Rollins. In 5 years, over 20 new businesses were established in the downtown. In 12 years, the Rollins DDA applied for a large facade improvement grant that revitalized the entire downtown storefronts. And now 20 years later, Rollins is considered one of the Wyoming Main Street's top contributing historic downtowns in Wyoming. I still serve on the DDA board in Rollins. While living in Newcastle, Wyoming, I served on the Historic Preservation Board. I helped bring the mural project to Newcastle, where we were able to paint 3 large murals. My husband and I purchased the historic Antlers Hotel that was built in 1880 and was boarded up and abandoned for 30 years. The surrounding commercial properties were in disrepair with many vacancies. We were able to remodel the Antlers into the jewel of the downtown, sparking a renewed interest in and revitalization of the downtown. In addition to murals, we formed a group that brought public art in the form of coal cars that were filled with flowers celebrating the history of coal mining in the area to various places in the downtown. Additional flowers and landscaping projects were undertaken to beautify the downtown. Currently, Newcastle's downtown is thriving. While living in Saratoga, I have remodeled 3 homes, built a home with my daughter. I remodeled a historic building in the downtown where we held art classes and community events. We sold it 3 years ago and it has been vacant ever since. In closing, I would like to express my sincere interest in serving on the Planning and Zoning Board. I believe that my passion for historic preservation and downtown revitalization would be an asset to Saratoga. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any question for Heidi? Discussion. Open for discussion.
Discussion from.
Nope. Oh. Kimberly, do you have anything on this?
I would just say that there's only so many things that we can do on the planning commission. Like all the stuff you've done on the economic development stuff is very impressive. Just hope you understand, like a lot of that stuff we can't do. Yes. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, no, I totally got you, because I have. That line gets blurry sometimes, and people get frustrated at me or the planning commission because we're not doing things they think we should be with the downtown, but we lack the tools and some of the mechanisms that like an economic development organization has. Just make that aware.
Well, there's three good choices here. Up to me to appoint and the council to approve.
How many positions do you have? Just the one?
What's that?
You just have the one position to fill?
No, we actually have two
You
positions,
have two positions to fill.
two positions.
It's a difficult thing, right? Because we have three people who are willing to serve on a board.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're always
That,
looking.
for lack of a better word, can
That
be
happen?
grinding.
Normally you run around with an even board. Because you can't get another member.
What order did the letters come in?
What's that?
What order did the letters come in?
I believe Tana was first and then Heidi's and then Matt.
I'm just like, can I have a
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
filled in for 18 months? And then December, they were fixing it and notified in January when I was away. Came back for the meeting we had in January. I walked in and asked Emery Penner, can I be here? Which you betcha. Carried on business. At that time, at the very end of the meeting, finally, I said, I have something at the end. I said, my term ran out. Paul said, oh, yeah. I asked Emery, I said, how long? He said, 5 years. I said, I can't do 5 years. But I don't like to quit. So I commit.
Mm-hmm.
I said, can we do 2, 3? At that time in January, we talked, and we extended our meeting in January. Planning and zoning commission. We talked about it, we thought, there had been issues in the past in this town, getting people to commit 5 years. As you well know.
Yep.
We all agreed upon it, 2, 3 years. At that time, I was told, keep showing up, Matt. I said, well, I won't put in another letter. So I hear, it wasn't until I heard on my phone across the wire that you all talked about it February 4th, that
Okay.
3 years was gonna go down.
So,
Immediately, I sent a letter and walked in the door.
so basically, you let him know.
That's what I was holding back on. I fully intended to keep going. I have no problem. We did great on 17. Since Emery, and I cannot say enough about this gentleman right here, this planning and zoning commission has gained traction. We're getting some.
Well, I can remember when, you were in, we had our very first discussion. And I invited him to join something. And so he did. So, well, my first appointment's gonna be Matt Baker. Do I have a motion to go ahead and accept my appointment of Matt Baker to the Planning and Zoning Commission?
I make a motion to accept Matt Baker.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, Matt, you're on it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Well, I go by the way the letters come in, I have to appoint Tana Davies as the next one. Heidi, I appreciate your letter. Do I have a motion to go ahead and accept Tana Davies to the planning commission? Accept my appointment.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That'll be my two appointments, Tana Davies and Matt Baker. Also, Heidi, I appreciate your letter. You know, just, we'll keep it on file and we'll reach out. We do have people that leave unexpectedly off these boards. And we'll reach out to you when the next opening and see if you're still interested, and we can use the same letter. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on. Emery?
So I wanted to kind of, you guys got the message that we had to move the public hearing for the Title 17 back. So I had a meeting scheduled with Kylie to go over a couple things right smack dab before the publishing timeline was coming up, and we had to move our meeting, so we had to move the timeline. And there was one thing we were looking at in 17 with some language with how what it was spelled out with the zoning officer that doesn't match what's already in 18. So we want to make sure we get that congruent before we publish for a hearing. So it would probably we're probably going to do it the 18th of March would be ideal. So we have another little bit of time to get that cleaned up and then publish the hearing. So once we put it out on the airwaves, the ordinance isn't going to get changed before the public hearing. But we went through all 15, 16 pages of it again, and everything was kosher, and it was just that one thing. So we'll finish getting that cleaned up with her, and then we'll look at March 18th for that, because we got to have 15 days for between publishing and hearing. And that if it was 14, it wouldn't be as big of an issue, but meeting that 15 days with the way our meetings are scheduled, it throws it off pretty quickly. A reminder again, we've got the April 4th, or the first meeting in April, I believe is the 4th. We're gonna have the people from DQ state here for that Brownsfield presentation, and you guys can ask questions, and we'll probably get a packet out to you guys a couple weeks before that, so you can look through it and kind of have a improved understanding of the Brownsfield program. And so if you got any questions about any of that information, we can take advantage of that time that gal's here. Obviously, weather permitting, if it snows in April here, which is probably happened a lot, we might Zoom, but she's actually planning on coming over and driving over.
Okay, and anything else? Any questions for Emery?
From me.
Okay, we'll move on. Have Jen remove the community center's power board from the agenda going forward. If they want to come, we'll open the floor up and talk to them then. But we stay in pretty close contact with those people anyway. We'll move on to the Recreation Commission, Ms. Bub.
Nothing new to report. The next meeting is March 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. here at the town hall.
Okay, we'll move on to the Saratoga Airport Advisory Board. Brenda?
So they were working on using the rest of the ARPA money that they have. They're getting pretty close. I think you guys are pretty close. They must have it all spent. There's a little, Emery was in there and they're working on doing a new map of the hangars so that the lots match the hangar numbers. Those should all match, right?
Yeah, the lease, so we were looking through the leases. This came about, a guy's trying to build a hangar and he's asking, how big's my lot? How big's this? And his lease number didn't match any map we could find. And so I was able to dig out one from like 1991 that was actually surveyed and everything. And so we're looking at through the master plan process, hopefully getting that updated, adding Brush Creek's hanger on it, and then they have an official map. That we're not redrawing on paint, printing it out and getting all of our leases to match. Lease numbers to match the lot numbers that are on that map.
So
So,
was his lease an old lease or what?
no, it was new, updated, what, 4 or 5 years ago again? Yeah.
Oh.
And so he was leased like on lot 19, but the map that we had at the airport that was certainly showed being lot 12. We couldn't find a map that matched everything. Some of the leases were done off of the addresses for the hangars, some of them were done off of the old map. We just want to get that all,
Is there any spots left up there to lease?
not right, I don't think there's any.
Somebody asked me about that.
You haven't asked you, as far as I know, without expanding into that, taxi, putting the new taxiway in and.
Or if they can talk to somebody that already has one.
Right. And I know there may be some, west facing opportunity, but it's kind of. You're having a west facing hangar probably.
Would be very good.
I think there was, that's been discussed in their new minimum standards and all this master plan of expanding name.
Yeah, what that will look like in the future, but I think it's just getting the money to
Yeah.
move another lane out. And I've had probably 2 or 3 people.
Okay.
And then
Go ahead.
they discussed the landscaping, the board decided they want to hire a landscape architect to design something that they can put out to bid. And it will be part of it, but we'll see how they decide to go, they're kind of getting elaborate.
Yeah, I
A
mean.
bit much.
I just think what they wanted to do with the way it's bid, and plus it'll be over the $75,000 threshold, and they're wanting to do something that. I don't know if it's extravagant, but it's big enough that they need to have a proper bid package put together and make sure that they're gonna get what they want. Whoever gets hired to do it does what they're supposed to do. And I think getting somebody to design it and have a product that they can.
Part of it has to do with the fact that it's around an airfield, so you have to have the landscaping that doesn't produce FOD or anything else on the field. So we were looking into getting a landscape specialist, probably since this small project won't cost that much, it'd be better than us just piecemealing it and trying to figure out if it would cover what we need, if that makes sense. So, you know, you don't want pea gravel out there that would produce FOD on the runway. So
Okay.
it's, and they have the money to do it. Landing fees are up again.
Okay. Be sure to keep us posted on that. So when these bills come in, we know what jail code to take them out and, you know. I figured it was. Okay.
Then they did some discussion of the master plan. There's been one aerial survey and they'll be having a second one. And we're gonna have some public meetings and a TAC committee meeting coming up too. Traffic at the airport was up for January. They have an ADSB that was installed for collecting data. I guess that they get that for 2 years for free, that Larry said. And that'll collect a lot of different data and more data, and it works good for getting the grants and now they need all that data. Larry will keep his data, they'll compare it to what they've got. And I think that's about all I've got. Do you have anything else?
Oh, and Lad and I are talking, we're gonna try and put the Holden on the standard thing we've been talking about for years to bed this summer, and get it done.
Okay.
In conjunction with the master plan, it's plugging along pretty well, and they're getting all kinds of good data to give to the FAA. And looking at maybe having a good argument for changing the slope or increasing the length of the runway. Because when we're getting these bigger aircraft, then they can't take off with a fuel load, fuel pass. So we're getting all kinds of good data to support that, especially in the summer when the temperatures go up and the pressure altitude goes up, you can't take off.
Okay.
How much more room do they have out there to extend that runway?
They do have some room out there because they're talking about changing it because right off in the runway, there's BLM property. So they do have some. And they also have some overage on the north side that used to be part of the runway. It's just a lot of money,
And they'd have to move the county road also.
What's that?
They'd have to move the county road to extend it.
Right after where the hill goes up past the tower.
It's been extended once.
It's, yeah,
So just get the dozer out, just push her on over.
just push her on
But we're
over.
seeing more and more.
You won't even put a mark on it if you push it right.
Which is to be expected.
Yeah, it's only gonna get bigger. Looking at what's going to be next is the wintertime traffic. Then we're talking about getting de-ice capability here as well.
Are they addressing all of this in the master plan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for the report, guys, on the airport. We'll move on to, nothing to report from South Central Wyoming Emergency Medical Service. Their next meeting is March 17th, 6 p.m. in Saratoga. Is there any new business to be brought before the town? Okay. And no further business, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.